G'day, my name's Christo, and we're going to do another quick tutorial today. I had a request from a bloke named Nicholas who wanted to see a quick application with 6 numbers that would be randomly generated at the click of a button between 1 and 49. So I've gone ahead and I've put one together for you. As you can see at the moment, we're just going through setting up our view controller to have a look at it. I'm not really going to explain this a great deal, as this has been gone over in the first 2 tutorials, so if you don't know what I'm doing now, I'd probably recommend that you go back, watch the other tutorials first to get an understanding of what I'm doing with the with the interface builder as to the custom view that we're assigning it to now. So obviously, just like we did last time, any changes, background or whatnot, this is all to your own aesthetics. You can do it however you like. I don't really care. So we're just calling our main class, our main view controller class, main view, and we're just putting in 6 labels where the numbers can be displayed. As Nicholas did say, 6 labels with random numbers in it. So we're just going to put the labels together and then link them up as we've done in other tutorials. For this tutorial, we'll be using a function called arc4random. There's a link to the Apple documentation on this particular function on the blog for you to have a look at. It's a pretty good function that I like. I've always used the straight random function, but recently I've started to use this. It's probably about twice as random and twice as efficient as the random function, and you don't have to initialize it first. So for those reasons, I do like to use it. So as you can see, we're just setting everything up. We're going to create our class actions and our outlets, a small button that I'm going to call randomize, and then 6 outlets that I'm going to name num1 through 6, just for ease of me being able to remember. Obviously you can call your buttons whatever you want, just remember to remember what they're actually called when you need to call them in your particular functions. So all of these labels, as we've always done, or as I've done in the last couple, we're going to name give them a type of UI label. So that's going to be done 6 times over here. And then that's pretty much all we're going to need to do in Interface Builder for this particular tutorial. Like I said, it's a pretty quick and easy tutorial. It's mainly just showing how to get those random numbers up and what function to use. So we're almost finished here. We're just going to do one more, and then obviously all we need to do from there is to connect our labels up. Generally I get rid of the word label as I'm putting the label in, but recently I found this to be a little bit of a pain, as the label background is assigned automatically to the same color as the main view, so I sometimes lose my labels. So I keep the word label there until I've assigned everything to where I want it to be, and then I simply go through and delete the word label out. It's just a little bit easier while I'm setting everything up to have the actual word there, but once again, you can do this however you like. As long as you connect it up properly, it doesn't matter. And then I'm just going to save my class. I like to keep everything in the classes folder. Save it, making sure that you do create that .h file and assign it to the application. Now we just need to implement a little bit of code. As you would have seen, I like to keep all my files together, so I'll move them up into the classes folder. We'll change this to UI view. That'll obviously assign it to the superclass of UI view, so we'll be able to see it. I think I have gone over this before, so I'm not going to explain this anymore. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare 6 instances of our random numbers, which I'm going to call random num1 through 6, and I'm going to declare those as integers, for we're only using numbers between 1 and 49, so not that it's going to make a great difference to memory, in this particular application, but you only really need to declare an integer for numbers of this size. So I just going to call them num1 through num6, and that's pretty much all we're going to have to do in this particular header file. And then we can head over to our main class file and then call the functions for every time the button's hit. So what we're going to do here is we're going to declare, or we're going to assign random number as an integer. You can put this straight into your string command. However, as far as I'm concerned, it's good programming practice to actually assign it to a variable. It'll just make it easier if you're building a bigger application than something like this. So simply what I've done is I've assigned it to the function of arc4random. I put 1+ in there to stop it being a 0 number. This way it'll start at 1, the number 0 won't come up, so it'll always add 1 to it. And then obviously the percentage symbol 49, that's your bounds. So that number can be whatever you want. If you want it to be a number between 1 and 500, you could just have 500 there as opposed to 49. The next line of text you will have seen in the first 2 tutorials, so I don't think there's a great deal of a need to go over this once again. It's pretty much declaring the string format to be of the type integer, and we're going to use the instance of random num1 to call this, and we're setting the text in the label of num1. And simply that's pretty much it. We're going to do this 6 times over, so I'm just going to copy and paste it 6 times, and then just change the numbers. So I'm going to change from obviously random num2, then num2.text, and sometimes autocomplete can get in the way a little bit, but just make sure you keep an eye on that. And this is all pretty straightforward, so we can just go ahead, quickly go through, change all of these. Won't be very long at all. And incidentally enough, that's pretty much all that we have to do for this particular application. So we'll just quickly go through, change all of these. And here we go. One more. There we go. And we can just build and go now. So like I said, there's a link to some documentations on the arc4random function that I've used in this. So go ahead, read that. It's pretty useful. As it loads into the simulator. And there it is. Click on go for it. There's our 6 random numbers. Keep clicking it and it will assign a different one every single time. It'll just keep calling that function. Well, there you go. Well, thank you very much for watching once again. If you've got any more questions or any requests, by all means, just leave a comment. If I've got time, I'll get around to it. Obviously, I've got a lot of other things to do. So, thanks to everybody who's donated to the site. It's been fantastic. And yeah, keep it up, guys. And if you've got any ideas, by all means, let me know. Send a comment, and I'd be happy. I'd be happy to put up some of your tutorials if you've got some there. By all means. Thanks for watching. See you later. My name's Christo.